Okay, we're recording. I see recording up there. Bubba found the recording button.
Thank you. I tried.
Okay, it's been a long night with Mr. Brewer here. But yeah, we made it. We're here. Look, it in 1 week, we've done 2 of these. Wow. What's the occasion? The occasion is the Triple B experience, the 3BE unscripted, straight to YouTube, unedited, uncensored. Well, a little bit censored. Sometimes we have to censor Bubba.
Well,
But
I'll try not to say it.
I'm Gary D, as you know. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Indiana's finest, Bad Bubba Brewer.
Hello, everybody.
And we have Cable. Sorry, I don't got any fancy name for you. It's Caleb, aka Cable. Buddy, we just work here.
He's a mercenary with expertise.
That's all I need.
He's an expertise. He's a mercenary. He brought in now. It's like we're like soldiers of fortune or something.
So the podcast went really good last Wednesday. It got released today, but it went really well. So Cable's with us. He's a part of the podcast now. Or he's just holding us hostage, one or the other. But he's here.
I'll never tell.
So this is how this is going to work. 3BE, the Triple B experience, unscripted, straight to YouTube. We're not going to have a run sheet. We're not going to have anything in particular to talk about. We're going to shoot the shit, and we're going to talk about anything and everything for the next 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, not for 2.5 hours or the next day.
We'll see.
Yeah, we got to cap this at some point.
But the podcast I listened to it all, and it was great. It was just sometimes I got a little winded. So, I mean, it happens.
Well, I mean, we had a lot of good stuff to catch up on. And then we add Cable to the mix, who's full of knowledge. So between the two of you, there's lots to say and lots to talk about. I'm just a mediator to keep you guys on track, and I didn't do a very good job, probably just because I like talking to you both. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the timer and see where it goes.
Oh, okay.
Well, start.
Well, you know what?
Like the weekly challenge.
When I
see how short you can keep it.
When I actually listen to it back, I see a lot of stuff that I misquoted or didn't have the right information on. You know what I mean? Like, I know we were talking about Loki, and I said, "Oh, that was Kang's wife." That was not the judge, the time variance head chief. That is not Kang the Conqueror's wife. It was a love interest that Kang actually wanted to be with and loved her, but she didn't feel the same for him until the end when she got killed by one of his generals. That's where I wanted to.
I knew there was a connection there, so I didn't know.
They were never married. I just want to. I'm not right all the time. So
who is? I mean, so we're on the subject of Loki. You guys want to start there?
Yeah, I mean, I did not get to the third episode, guys. So I think Cable is probably the only one that did, right? Bubba, you didn't get to it yet?
I did not. I did not. But I want to say...
We're not going to go into 3. But let's talk about
Cable's like, that was the greatest Marvel Disney episode of all time. And I went in... I went in with high aspirations. But I don't... High aspirations, expectations. But I didn't get the payoff. Like, it just didn't have the climactic for me.
I was going to call him out on that. I was going to say the exact same thing. You hyped it up pretty good. It was big, right? So I go into it. And I thought it was a good episode. But I'm like, what? Did I miss something? What happened that made it so great? You said that was the greatest thing in Marvel, cinematic universe history or something.
Of the TV shows. Yeah.
Okay. So what made it for you that?
Well, probably I had lower expectations than you guys did because I hadn't hyped it up for myself. But it just was like jam-packed. Like there were some reveals going on. Like when you got the reveal of who was under the cloak, that was big. And the whole layout of the plan.
This is on YouTube. If you want to say who it is, say who it is.
Well, I wanted to bring this up because for now, everybody's calling her Lady Loki.
Yep.
But there's a lot of clues that it's a classic Thor
It's not the
character.
Enchantress.
That's what it seems like.
But the Enchantress didn't do this. She was always getting guys to fall victim to her trances of love. I
Right,
can't see
but
her being diabolical as this because they had female Loki. There's different variations of Loki
yeah.
in the comic
And
book.
that's what everybody's going towards, but the insider information that I didn't know at the time, like I'm not even, I'm not going to lie and say, "Oh, I picked that out," but seeing things online, uh like everybody else, she has a real name that's not Enchantress, and the actress is credited with that name in the credits.
Really?
And when he's going through the files and he's trying to track down where this variant might be, right before he makes the jump to the future,
Oh,
it has her name on the file too for like a time crime in the past.
but she has to be way hotter. She's
Well,
not.
they're not going to do that
She's
now,
not
though.
that. What are you laughing? She's not that hot. Like in the comic book, she was
Yeah,
sultry and
yes.
voluptuous. I mean, she
But
was.
you're not talking 2021. I
What are
mean,
you,
they don't.
Enchantress? If I want enchanted, I want enchanted by somebody hot.
And then the other clues were at this point, I'll get enchanted by anybody. I don't care. But the
I
other
agree with you.
clues were, when before the reveal happens and they're fighting, Loki says something like, "I'd never be this mean to myself." So right there, he tips you off that he doesn't even think it's a variant of himself. And then when they come face to face, she says something like, "Boy, you like to hear yourself talk." And that, like, another tip of the hat that even this variant doesn't think that they're Loki. But it still has to play out, because with,
Lot of curves,
yeah,
because I heard before they even filmed they were going to do the kid Loki, and
yeah,
the kid Loki in the comic books of the Asgardians of the Galaxy, he was very vital in that 10-issue run because
okay,
actually they had Angelina, which is a character from Spawn that they brought
yeah.
over to make Thor's sister, and she's part of the Asgardians of the Galaxy, and that's where Kid Loki came in. So
That
I heard,
reveal when she showed up in the comics blew my mind because I
oh yeah,
loved Spawn as a kid.
well I
I
had the
love
first
Spawn.
appearance of her in Spawn. I think issue 9.
Yeah,
Spawn, not to get off topic, but just real quick, Spawn was supposed to be making another movie or show or something.
they
They're,
still are.
he's
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
trying
taking
to, yeah.
forever.
Well,
But
I
anyway,
think Todd McFarlane is like self-financing it mostly, or
he's
I
going to do
mean,
everything done right. That's
yeah,
how he
he's the big
is,
driving force behind it, so he's taking his time with it.
and
That's the guy
that's
who
the
If
created
it's
Spawn.
good,
that's
it's
the
worth the wait. You know.
well, that's the
Yeah,
Spawn is the longest independent comic of all time.
yeah. Didn't they just finally end it and like
No,
restart it? Oh, it's
no,
still going.
it's still going because I collected it from I had issue 1 to 150, and then I quit, and then I jumped back on it at 295 because I
Where are
wanted
they at now?
300. They're at 319,
Okay.
but they're
Wow.
starting another spin-off comic that's coming, I think, next month or sometime this summer.
They had some of the best characters. I loved those characters as a kid.
Well,
And the
Spawn
art
was great.
and everything
Yeah.
about it, like, which
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, Mav, but the guy who created Spawn was the one he created Venom. Well, a fan created Venom actually. But did you ever hear that story?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
No.
the idea for Venom came from a fan,
200
and
bucks.
he
Jim,
sent it into Marvel, and they took it and they sent him like $200 or $300.
$200. Jim Shooter
Yeah,
gave him $200. Who was the editor of Marvel? Gave the kid $200 and sent him on his way.
and now look at what that
Wow,
character's worth.
wow.
But yeah, the guy that created Spawn, he did all of the late '80s and like early '90s Spider-Man designs where he had the really big eyes, and he created the
The webbing.
signature web where it has like a string with more around it. Like, he
Okay.
was very influential in the early '90s
Yes,
Spider-Man
because
design.
McFarlane
So
jumped before he went to Spider-Man. He was actually the Incredible Hulk artist,
Oh, I
and
didn't know that. Okay.
yeah, so he went. Well, actually, he was in DC. Did a little bit of Batman. Um, and then he went to the Incredible Hulk for a run, and then he did the famous 341 that has the picture of Wolverine with his blades, and the Hulk is in the mirror, and
Okay.
it's real priced. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
And then he also did Spawn.
He left
yes.
Marvel. Yeah.
Okay.
Him and a bunch of other comic artists got together and left
They started
Marvel.
Image Comics.
Yeah.
All the big names at that time: Jim Lee,
Liefeld.
Jimmy Valentino, Eric Larson, once Porcela. He did Wetworks. I got all those issues, but some of them, Wildstorm went to, or the Wildcats. No, Wildstorm and the Wildcats was Jim Lee's, and then that's in DC now.
Yeah.
So actually, and Savage Dragon was Eric Larson, and Eric.
Yeah,
did,
but they like all bet on themselves, because Marvel had a really bad. I don't know if this is still the case or not, but they had a thing where, you weren't entitled to your work because you were under the Marvel banner.
They just take it.
Yeah, anything you did was Marvel property, and they got tired of that, so they left and created a bunch of their own stuff. And the comic brand is still alive and kicking to this day and going.
Yeah,
right. I mean, hopefully they pay better now, but who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they paid that guy that did Venom $200. That's like an APWF payment right there.
Right. Yeah, because right.
No, it ain't, because mine would have been $30
and
a hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to cover the building because we didn't sell enough tickets.
Anyway, back to Loki.
But also too, before we go back to Loki, McFarlane's figures, man, are phenomenal.
They are.
Figures, and all his other figures are great. So
his company makes the NFL figures. If you've ever seen those.
I guess
they do the sports ones. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess, for the Loki, what made it so big for me was the reveals towards the end, and just the plan, like seeing that when they showed all of the grenades, essentially the time grenades, like wired up, like the intensity of how the episode ended. And
well, Loki was like, screw you dudes, I'm out of here. And then on the second episode, that's when he went through the time thing, and boom. So I mean, you got an episode up on us, and I mean, I'm gonna watch it tonight before I go to bed. That's how I roll.
But on that episode too, I didn't get a chance to really look at it, but they had, I think it was on a screen or whatever, they showed where she was, jumping and setting up all these grenades to erase the timeline, and they're all really crucial points in the MCU. Right. So they could be like changing a lot of things going forward. It could have a big impact going forward.
Well, it's the start of the multiverse. I mean, but also too, Loki's going to have 2 seasons, I believe. This is not it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I did see that also.
I mean, there's something. I mean, this company, and I know I love Dave Filoni too. Don't get me wrong, but Kevin Feige is the creator of all. Like, because he's got it 5 years. I can only imagine what he's going to do with the Black Panther movie. What they're going to do. I just, and it's a shame, but you know what?
Oh, Michael, what they're going to do with Black Panther. There's everything. I'm not knocking. I'm not saying anything. But listen, everything's female now.
Well, but the thing is,
She-Hulk.
I understand.
Lady Loki.
Well, the She-Hulk's coming.
They're going to do the same thing with Black Panther.
But she wasn't.
What's going to happen?
She wasn't Black Panther long though. She wasn't. She was Black Panther, but she wasn't.
She wasn't the comics. There is a basis for that.
I bought that
did
issue.
Take over. As Black Panther at one
point.
Not
long. And I think that I don't know how they're going to do it, and I don't know what they're doing, but they're bringing Prince Namor in. Submariner's coming, and I don't know how. And Doctor Doom is not far behind.
That Secret Wars needs to be the next Endgame.
That's going to be
what they need to build to.
When I'm 75 years old, and if I'm still doing this podcast, my teeth are going to fall out because that's how long it's going to take. That Secret Wars, and it's going to be the second Secret Wars. It's not going to be the first Secret Wars of the 80s.
Well,
that's where Spider-Man got his suit.
Yeah, and if you go back to the first episode of Loki, when he first gets brought to the TVA, and they have that like animated history of the TVA, they mentioned that there was a war between between universes that merged the timeline, and that is almost like an adaptation of the most recent Secret Wars
Yeah,
from like 2015.
because that was
Um,
spots of
right.
Doom World and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and then when it was resolved, you had incarnations from both universes, the Ultimate Universe and the 616, combining into one shared universe. So it seems like that's the trajectory.
I like the original one. The original one, Mav, is when all the superheroes got plucked out of Marvel and ended up on this planet where they had to grab some beer, and they had to they all hung out in camp, and then you had all the bad guys in camp, lacing their boots up, ready to beat the shit out of the good guys on a planet. And then you had Doom trying to beat the Beyonder. The guy was the Beyonder, some earthly godlike being that could just put everybody together. And then you had the Molecule Man, who was a wimpy ass guy that got the shit kicked out of him all the time, that had the greatest powers in the world, that could place planets together because he was a Molecule Man. And then Spider-Man was getting shit kicked out of him. His costume was all ripped, and that's when they got the symbiote. That's how he got the black costume in Secret Wars #8, which is pricey too. And then they got back and they won, and then Doom tries to just take over everything. He just never is not happy with one piece of the pie. He fucking wants everything. So, and then everybody he loses, and then the superheroes go back to their real time. That was the secret. It was a 12-part miniseries, and I have a picture of the issue #3 where the Hulk has the whole mountain, and the Hulk is holding up and saving every superhero because the villains beat the shit out of him, threw a mountain on him, and the Hulk's just fucking lifting it up over his head.
I
It was
have that
good.
issue,
That was
but
a
it's
great
in
issue.
bad condition.
Oh, I got it autographed by Bob Layton, I think, downstairs.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And that whole event, like that's one of Marvel's biggest and earliest events, because events they do them all the time in comics now.
No,
The whole reason they did
week.
that was to sell action figures.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, makes sense. So all I was saying before is it seems like Marvel's going more female driven with their characters. I mean, look how many, Captain Marvel, you got all these. Anyway,
but Captain Marvel she was a female character
to begin with, yes,
right? But in this coming Captain Marvel 2, Rogue is probably coming. So in the comic books, Rogue took her powers, and then she was just powerless.
Yeah, Rogue from X-Men. That's where she
was
got her
working at
powers.
Dairy
Was she
Queen
stolen from
making
Captain
an ice
Marvel.
cream cone and shit. She wasn't saving the world. She lost all her powers.
Well, did you see who's in Captain Marvel 2?
Well, I believe it's going to be Monica Rambeau, and then it's going to be
Kamala Khan.
Yeah, see, I'm not into.
Well, it's going to be a Disney Plus series, so
yeah,
see,
they're
that's
filming that too.
Like you said earlier, in Feige, I trust. At this point, anything they want to throw at me, I'll watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So, Cable, you mentioned at our podcast we recorded last week. It was released today, by the way. So check that out.
It had 75 views. The experience on IdiotRadio.net.
Cable, as you were saying that with Marvel, there's no bad movies. It's just some are better than others. Completely agree. At what point is any concern with you two that they're going to get it wrong? Because up until this point, they have not. They've basically nailed everything.
Not at this point. I think where they had the best chance of going wrong was early, because we're at the golden age of superheroes and media, and we're getting comic accurate suits that we never thought we would have seen 10 or 15 years ago. That's where these movies are going to succeed the most, is just leaning fully into their comic roots, because that's what makes the genre what it is and separates it.
They have to make the Hulk though. This Professor Hulk bullshit.
Oh yeah,
that's terrible. When he got his ass beat by Thanos in the first 5 minutes of the Infinity War, I was pissed, dude, because I was like, man, this is bullshit.
He did have a couple Infinity Stones though. or
Yeah,
maybe one at that point.
You mean paperweights?
still.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've made him. That's why I'm not a big Mark Ruffalo guy. Like, and Ruffalo and the Hulk is going to be in the She-Hulk because they're going to have to
Yeah.
show that because she got blood transfusion from Bruce Banner. That's how she
Yeah.
was. She's an attorney. So it's supposed to be, that show's supposed to be a comedy. So we'll see. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm. I mean, like I said, they haven't got it wrong thus far. They haven't disappointed me this far. But I can't say that I'm even remotely excited about that movie.
Which one?
She-Hulk.
Well, the TV show. Well, the TV shows are better than anything on network TV.
Oh, is it going to be a TV show or
It's
a
going to be
movie?
a TV
Yeah,
show.
it's a Disney
TV
Plus
show.
show.
But
Yeah.
she will be in the Avengers. I mean,
Of course.
everybody that's on Disney Marvel stuff will be in the movies. And if they have Charlie Cox come back as Daredevil, which he's coming, and if they can bring in the Kingpin, oh my God, that'll be phenomenal.
That's the one I want to see the most. I want to see Kingpin come back from Daredevil.
And John Berthenol is the Punisher, and then they're good.
And then they need to bring in the X-Men.
I'm sure they're going to, but do you want to see? Would you want to see them bring in the former actors, or do you want them recast?
That's just a tricky. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if there's ever going to be a Wolverine that's, you know.
Yeah. Well, with the Wolverine topic, see, while you guys are mulling it over, I want them recast. As much as I love, the original portrayals and stuff.
He's too old.
Hugh Jackman made it his own, and he killed that role, but he wasn't a good fit for Wolverine. Like he made it his own, but Wolverine's like supposed to be like 5'2" or something. Just this short, like
Hugh Jackman
monster.
Was like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah,
he was like my height, my looks. And
he's like charming. Like in the movies, like Hugh Jackman plays him as charming, except for when he goes berserk.
Well, now he says Broadway. He's like, he's singing and stuff now.
You two are telling me when you see Hugh Jackman on screen as Wolverine that you can tell that he's 6'2".
Yes, he's bigger.
He's got stature on screen.
There's no fucking way.
Well, because like Cyclops should be taller than him. Like Cyclops should be looking down at him.
Yeah.
And then, when you got him, it's all the other characters that give it away, is what it is. Like Wolverine should be this little ball of fury.
Yeah, because when the Colossus throws him, it's what do you call that? The
speedball special.
Yeah, he's not that big. He's about as big as Puck of the Alpha Flight.
I'm not. Yeah. I know he's not supposed to be big, but I couldn't on screen.
I mean, it's great. I mean, he did a great role.
Jackman's too damn tall.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't bother me, but if they're going to recast and stuff, and with how comic accurate they are,
who would you make the next Wolverine, Cable?
Oh my God, that's tough. I mean, it might have to be a nobody, but a lot of people are pushing for Tom Hardy. But I mean, he's Venom now. He's. I
don't know, man. So. You start working out those chops you got, you might have a chance. Bubba, who would you cast?
I don't even know. I truly don't know. I really don't, and I no one's going to be as good as Hugh.
Right.
I don't know,
right.
And I have to go in with blinders.
That's part of the fun of what Marvel and Disney do, is like they cast some of these people that you don't know.
Yeah, which would be
and
great.
Then you end up loving their portrayals and the characters.
Tom Harland's the best Spider-Man ever.
Yeah. Wholeheartedly agree.
He's a YouTube sensation.
I mean, McGuire was great. That was great at that time.
Exactly.
I mean, but Andrew Garfield sucked. He was terrible.
I didn't mind him as Peter Parker, but he just he wasn't what I would want.
No.
And then with the Hugh Jackman thing, while we're on that, and you brought up the original Spider-Man, the thing with Hugh Jackman in that first X-Men is you're going back to the year 2000, where superhero movies weren't popular like they are now, so they had to do what they could do to get them made. That's why they're in the all black suits. I'm ready for a fresh cast with comic accurate suits. I want to see blue and yellow Wolverine on screen at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure. That'd be great.
Well, yeah. I mean, you saw it in the briefcase. And that was it.
I recently started on Disney Plus.
Well, no, it was the brown. I'm sorry, it was brown. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was brown.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
It was brown. It was not the blue and yellow.
I started watching the X-Men cartoons just recently when I
So
have time.
good.
Not that I have a lot of time, but yeah, they're phenomenal.
The
They're
The
best,
phenomenal.
original, the one from the 90s.
It's the one that's on Disney Plus.
the best
Okay,
I'm
I think they.
assuming,
Dark
yeah,
I
Phoenix.
think
I think it is.
The
I
best
think it is.
Dark Phoenix is the cartoon. The two
absolutely.
movies that just bombed, the cartoon blew them out of the water. And
Dude, the X-Men cartoon, the Spider-Man cartoon, and the Batman cartoon
Like
from the early
together, like
90s.
are great,
yeah.
all great.
That's
My
what got me
son just
hooked in
started.
comics and superheroes. It wasn't comic books. That was my introduction was the cartoons, and then I got into the comics and everything.
Mine was the
You
classic
know,
car show in Pittsburgh when they had Spider Man and the Hulk actors, and Eric Estrada was there, and there was a line of women that went from here to Three River Stadium at the time.
oh
He was
well, no,
hotter. Oh my god, he was hot. Not like
there's no
looking hot.
better.
I mean, he was just hot wise because that show Chips was big in the
Well, there was no
70s.
better Spider-Man than the one the APWF had. I'm just saying.
He was
Uh,
pretty good. If you could ever hear from that guy, I
Which
I
well,
wonder
yeah.
what he's up to these days.
well, the other guy that was dressed in the APWF that was like this, and he couldn't
No, no, no,
move, or what,
no,
or
no.
the one that actually looked like Spider Man that could actually move,
One,
that
the
could
one that
actually move.
the one that Maverick McCoy beat the you know what out of. How about that?
Oh, well,
Well, I think he had an off day
he was
that
also a
day.
Japanese
He did
sensation.
me a favor. That's what it was. He did me a favor. Anyway, as I was saying, my son's really into Spider-Man now. He's only 2.5, but he really wants to watch the cartoons. So it's weird watching the cartoons again with him from what you and I used to watch,
Yeah,
Cable. It's like it's crazy. And it's even more crazy that who was my favorite comic book character when we were growing up, Cable?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
We used to debate all
Well,
the time.
you're training your
Yeah.
son right.
Who was better, Spider-Man or Wolverine? And
Yeah.
of course, we would debate it, and I would always say Spider-Man, even though
Well,
Wolverine
Wolverine, listen,
fucking shit.
Wolverine can drink, smoke, and hook up with chicks better than Peter Parker. Peter Parker couldn't seal the deal.
I
I
mean,
agree.
he
I
had
love them
a
both.
nice catalog there.
Yeah, I love them
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Like I have a great my Amazing Spider-Man collection is coming down. I just got the first appearance of the Black Cat about 2 months ago. So I mean, those and where I have to be, it's real pricey. So I have to watch what I can't be spending money.
Cable's reaching up. What do we got? Oh,
Black
there
Cat,
it is.
yeah. When she comes to the MCU, the price will go up. Like I couldn't get nothing was cheaper than it was $100 or more for a first appearance, and it wasn't even any condition for that comic book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't get it. I tried to get it economically sound, but it just wasn't working.
When was that?
So
When was that?
Yeah.
It was issue 194, I believe. 194 or
I don't know if
190.
Cable's going to know where at 194 was. Like, do you
When
know
did
what he's
that? Yeah.
talking
What
about?
year was that?
Oh, that was in the that was in the that was in the 70s, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, or late 70s, early 80s. I can't pull it out now, but it's somewhere behind me. Well, hold
Yeah.
on.
Guys,
Why can't I just look it up on a damn fucking cell
you
phone?
could, but then you'd probably end up like kicking us off here, stop
No, no, no,
recording.
no, no,
Your
no. This is
computer
on a
would blow up.
laptop. This is on a laptop.
Oh,
Okay, keep going.
this might take a minute.
No,
So, what did you think of Loki episode 2 then? Before
Me or Bubs?
Matt?
Either. Okay. I liked it. I thought it was, like I said, I thought it was good. I just don't think that it was like the best thing in the.
I didn't think it was either. And I was right. It was issue 194, July 1979.
You killed it.
July is one hell of a
Nice.
good month. So there we
Bubba,
go.
I don't understand how the way your brain works. You can't put it in email and sign up for an app or a program. But some bitch can remember dates of any comic book, of any movie.
It's stuff I like.
You probably remember.
I'm not real tech savvy. Like I keep mowing grass and my trees. My depth perception, I hit myself in the head like 3 times out here. And I'm bending down and boom, because I got like
doing
tree
that, because
line.
then you might start forgetting your dates of your comic book.
I know exactly where you're coming from, Bob, because there's important shit that I should remember that I forget. But like you ask me any of the MCU movies, and I'll be able to tell you the month.
Yeah, I mean,
Facebook
for me is when I see that feed. Like today was, the greatest promo of Stone Cold at King of the Ring.
Yep.
Like I got to see it on my phone, and then I share it like the social media guru that I am. But I don't know. But yeah, Mav, there's a lot of stuff coming, man. A lot of stuff which Kevin Feige is here, and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau is right down here, because I do love Star Wars, because that was one of I've seen the original movie in 1977 at the movie theater, and my dad took me. And The Mandalorian and stuff is going to be good. I mean, it's going to be good, but those last three movies,
I'm going to cut you off there.
Terrible.
Cut you off because you're going to kill my punchline here.
Oh,
okay. I'm glad you mentioned Star Wars though, but you went a little too far. We said about Marvel. You are that guy that just always goes a little too far.
I do.
That's the
we talked about Marvel. We talked about Marvel, and is at some point are you guys worried about them not getting it right? You guys' answer is no. I agree with you. There's no track record of that. Star Wars. Did they get it wrong with the last three movies? Bubba, I know your answer. Cable, what do you got?
Okay. Well, the first movie I loved, Force Awakens. I loved it, and maybe that was just because we hadn't had one in so long.
When Solo died, man, I was in fucking tears.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said for it's kind of A New Hope in a different skin, like a lot of those same story beats and everything.
Yeah, the nostalgia, messed with your heartstrings a little bit.
Then The Last Jedi rubbed me the wrong way at first, and I really like that movie now that I've watched it a couple of times. There's some things in it I don't like, but overall as a movie, I don't hate it, And then I was pretty let down with the last one.
I think you and I saw every one of those together, right?
Yeah.
And then most of the sequels.
Yeah. I stayed awake for very little of Rogue One.
That's true.
Wait, why?
So upsetting to me because that one was so.
It's a great movie.
It's nothing with the movie. It's just me. Yeah. I could sleep through an earthquake.
Rogue One to me, out of all those three movies, Rogue One's better than the three last.
That's my favorite. Yeah. No, it had nothing to do with the movie. It was just I worked I worked that day. I got up early, but I love Rogue One, and the fact that they had the balls to kill them all at the end, with it being run by Disney. Oh, dude, I loved it.
That's how Vader is. That last 10 minutes is how Vader is. He's like that in the comic book.
Yeah, I mean
in the comic book, he is such a badass.
See, watching people scream in terror of Vader and try and get the door shut or holy shit, that was an amazing way to end that.
If it was a computer thing to get that door, Vader would have sliced me fucking from Kingdom Come.
True. That's true. I don't know. I hate when they do the reboots constantly. The Spider-Mans, the Hulks, they drove me insane. I don't think the movies were that bad to where that they need to do that, make them not canon and remake them.
Yeah.
Though there is talks that Filoni and Favreau, they want to do that. Now that Kathleen Kennedy's gone.
Yeah, is she gone?
I heard she was. I heard Filoni was the guy.
I heard that too.
I hate that.
Filoni is
that's a good move, though. That's a good move, Filoni. Okay, so Bubba, you've been wanting to talk about this on podcast previously, so let's keep it semi-PG here. You could, but what's your beef with Kathleen Kennedy?
I think she just wanted to ruin what George Lucas built, and she didn't even care. Like she wasn't concerned, and she didn't have purposely, and she didn't have the love and drive to make those characters. She didn't even she killed the Star Wars, like all the nostalgic and all the characters. She just didn't care. And you can't do that. Even the legendary Star Wars stuff from the books is all intermingled in. She just wanted to destroy Lucas's legacy, and that's why I hate her as a person. Has nothing to do with the Gina Carano situation. You can't tweet her and put out stuff. When they tell you stuff, when you work for a company, you can't do that. And I respect her too for holding up to her values, but you can't when the company tells you that. But they had it out for her anyway. They did not like Kathleen Kennedy.
Favreau and Filoni did.
Well,
it was. Here's the thing. I don't know if that was Kathleen Kennedy's call as much as it was Disney's.
Well, Disney probably did, but Kennedy didn't like her at all. Kennedy was doing this stupid Star Wars thing where they're going to have a big giant rock. Give me a break. Acolytes or whatever. Give me a
I don't know what
fucking
you're
break. The
talking
only
about.
acolytes I know is Bradshaw and fucking Farouk.
What? Explain that a little bit. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a new show. The show she's doing for Star Wars to get out was called The Acolytes, I believe, and they had a big, huge rock, and it was going to be like the Jedi thing or something, and like it was a pet. I don't know. It's a pet. It's stupid. It's stupid. Like
Well,
the
was she actually like doing writing for them, or she just like what did she do as?
she had Brie
She had
Larson in
creative
there.
input,
She had,
I
yeah,
think.
Okay,
she's
okay,
terrible.
so she
She's
did. She
gone.
did.
God bless. The witch is gone.
That's what I heard. But Filoni's phenomenal. You know,
Well, the book of Boba Fett is done filming, ready to roll.
it is, which is going to get interesting. Um,
Sure.
Bad Batch is out. I don't want to get into it maybe too much, but there's a lot of speculation. Who Omega is. Of course, there's always mystery behind the main characters, right? Um, there's an 18-year gap between that and A New Hope, so there's a lot of ground to cover,
They have a
right?
lot of stuff to do.
There's a
They have
lot
a
of
lot of
stuff they
stuff
can
to do,
do.
like Marvel. Between
Yep.
Marvel and Disney, that is going to be the greatest next 15 years of my life. Keep going.
Do you think that the Bad Batch, because there's 16 episodes, it was revealed 16.
I watched
Do you
8.
think it? Do you think that it's going to be another series? Do you think there's going to be another, or is it going to be one and done?
That's hard to say.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't know the feel of it or anything,
It's hard to
but
say.
I think that Star Wars property probably isn't as prone to one-offs like Marvel Disney
Yeah.
Plus stuff is, other than the Book of Fett. I'm sure that'll be a one and done, but
Well,
I would imagine
they're
that.
doing a really good job incorporating everything. Of course, we're going to have to see Rex at some point. You know,
That's coming.
Rex.
That'll be
It's
in
coming. It has to be.
Ahsoka. In Ahsoka,
Yep.
that's coming.
I would imagine Ahsoka. I would hope. We already saw Guerrero. We saw him. They came out and said you're gonna recognize a lot of characters within this. So,
Right.
I mean, this next half is going to be pretty damn good, I think. What's your thoughts? What do you think about Omega, Bubs? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that she is Jedi-like, and I don't want to give it away since Cable didn't see it, but also too, it's probably got something to do with Jango Fett.
I was going to say, is that Boba's sister?
I mean, we got 8 more episodes to go.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Definitely a possibility. Also,
she's very vital to
yes.
the story. Very vital.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yeah. And I don't want to say too much till Cable, you know what I mean? So Cable,
I'll have to cram them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's action packed. Like the first one is like I think an hour. I
was going to ask, is it a half hour or what?
It's like 22.
Minutes.
Yeah, it's like 20 some minutes.
The first episode 70 minutes. So that's like 20 to half hour.
Okay.
It was good. The first one's good, real good.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time watching cartoons, though. I'll be honest with you.
Me too, unless they're Bugs Bunny.
Actually, I really got into the X-Men and Spider-Man ones again recently, but Star Wars, like the Clone Wars, I had a hard time getting through that, except for when Ahsoka left, kind of thing. And
no.
The last episodes were great.
Those last 4 episodes of Clone Wars was better than the Star Wars movies.
But that's what I'm saying. I liked that, but there were some parts that were really slow. Like that series was just so long, right? So I do have a hard time watching the cartoon aspect. So I'm finding myself like playing with my phone while I'm watching it, and I miss stuff, and I have to rewind. It's just like it's tough. But I think it's gonna get good. I think it'll be good. It's just they're tying everything together.
Yeah.
They really are.
Both of those. That's why I have.
It came out today that the last episode is going to be a tearjerker. So it was revealed today. So
the last
episode? The last episode of Bad Batch.
The number 16?
16.
Okay. Well, because maybe those guys, I don't want to give it. Yeah.
But if that's the case, then is there going to be another series or not?
I don't know.
I guess Guess time will tell.
We'll have to do a
Waits
podcast
be
for it.
seen.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we're doing
Not
now. We're
to-
getting content for YouTube. We're getting content for everything. This is a brand. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. We're here to talk about
this
all
is
our
like
favorite stuff.
this is like
Well,
Pat
this is-
McAfee.
Yeah. This is kind of dated now, but did you guys watch the? I'm pretty sure, Mav, you told me you did the making of the Mandalorian, that feature.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I
I
love
seen
that.
that.
Love
I
it.
seen that.
The stage setup they have, like where they're able to film with. It's amazing.
Lucasfilms has always been ahead of the curve with that stuff, man.
Yeah.
It did
Well,
not
they're
surprise me
using
one
that
bit.
technology on Thor, the new Thor movie.
Good.
Marvel's
Good.
going to
That's
start
awesome.
to use that because that's amazing. I watched the episodes and then to see how that's made, and they're basically recording what's being shown on a TV, but there's no loss of quality.
Yeah.
Like that's phenomenal.
Well, I
And-
love seeing Dave Filoni wearing his 412 gear all
Yeah.
through that penguins and stuff. It just makes you.
I
And
didn't know.
he's from 10 minutes down the road from where I live.
That's
He's from Mount
awesome.
Lebanon.
Well,
And I wish he's not there obviously still, but maybe his parents are there. I don't know. I need to find him.
Agent May from Shield's parents owns a restaurant in Pittsburgh.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pittsburgh's
it's just
a
like
hotspot, man.
I just love to shake his hand and be like, thank you.
Yeah. Well, big shout
thank
out to
you
John
forever.
Favreau too.
Yes,
'cause
absolutely. How could you?
You
Yeah,
can when he talks about it, dude, you feel the passion that he has for
Sure.
Star Wars. And like that story he told about where they got the weapon that the Mandalorian uses was from the animated special,
Yep.
like back in
Yeah.
the 70s. And
yeah.
he showed it. He was excited to show
Lucas.
it to Lucas,
Lucas
and Lucas
I didn't
was like,
do that.
"Oh, okay." Like,
Yeah,
but-
he said I didn't do that. That was somebody
Yeah.
else. And then it's just killed it. But that's how much detail that they put into this
right.
stuff.
And it's the
Sick.
same, him and Feige, that's the same thing, that these people that are in charge and running this now are people that grew up loving this stuff, and the
Yeah.
passion comes through in the end result.
You're gonna see characters even from the Star Wars comic books make it to the live screen.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bringing characters in right now, maybe from the Darth Vader Volume 3, one of the officers. There's speculation that she's already in the Bad Batch. So, and you're going to see Dr. Alpha, you know what I mean? Like, there is a lot of stuff in the Star Wars comic stuff. Like, they just go from one volume, they quit, and they start another volume. Star Wars is hot, even in the comic books. So,
Grand Admiral Thrawn, baby. I can't wait.
well, he's coming.
Can't wait. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Also, there is a Caleb Jedi who's an apprentice in Bad Batch who will turn into eventually turns into somebody else you might know. But he's right at the beginning, so Cable.
Oh, he's probably a dick.
So there is a Jedi that has your actual name.
Well, that's
so.
because he's off of Rebels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everything-
Yeah. I know him from the Rebel. I never watched
tying
that.
everything
but
together.
I seen that
I know
whole
of-
series. I'm all good.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't see was the Chewbacca Christmas special because I just can't. When they sing and dance, I can't. And what happened in that movie? What they did to Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. That Mandalorian thing when he comes through and he's a badass. That's how Luke Skywalker was supposed to be.
Same thing as Vader.
Yeah,
All these years later,
amazing.
after the original trilogy comes out, we're seeing like what these characters can do that has never been put to screen before,
Thank
and
you,
it's
Favreau
amazing.
Filoni.
yeah.
They care. They want to tell the story. They want to tell the backstories. I mean, who would ever thought we would have a backstory of Boba Fett?
Well, I didn't think he was coming out of the pit.
Exactly.
I mean,
But,
I saw fan movies where he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were
or
good.
like the detail
Like a Wild
like-
Boar film.
at the beginning of the Mandalorian where they have the ice cream maker. Did
Yes.
you catch that story? Like the attention to detail and the love for
amazing.
the original, where everything comes from is amazing, and that's what's killing DC right now.
Oh, DC's.
Yes.
Is they're
TV
just run
shows
by a
are-
bunch of suits.
Now,
They don't have anybody that gives a shit.
talk about a brand that just can't ever get it right. They've got it
Yeah.
right with very few movies. But hey,
Sure.
we'll talk about that. Keep that. Jot that down for next week. We
Cool.
have a couple minutes left, guys.
Oh, wow.
We are going to go. we are going to go the 45, but
Okay.
Last little bit of this. Let's talk wrestling real quick, briefly. Hell in
Okay.
a Cell. Probably eventually we're going to do a reaction show. We do predictions. We're going to do predictions. It's going to be streamed
Right.
to YouTube as well. We'll probably
Right.
do a reaction, whether it's the night of or the day after. It depends. We're all old men and fall asleep. It just happens.
Well, if it's
So,
WWE pay-per-views, we're all falling asleep.
exactly. Speaking of which, Bub's Cable, AEW is coming to the Peterson Event Center on 2 days in August.
Yeah.
2 nights, Wednesday and a Friday. But anyway, so Bubba will be downtown probably looking through all the hotels because they're going to stay from Wednesday to Friday.
Oh,
So he'll be down there
that's
stalking them
the
all.
same weekend of Steel City Con. So
Oh, boy.
yeah, because if they're there Friday, will they have somebody from AEW in Steel City Con like they had
Probably.
Britt Baker?
Probably Jericho.
They probably had they have Foley coming. That's the wrestling so far is Foley.
Okay. Not to cut you off there, but real quick, Hell in a Cell. Let's pivot there real quick. Overall takeaways, any highlights you like?
How about Botchamania Hell in a Cell?
I'll talk about it. What happened?
Oh, fucking
Just
Charlotte, man.
briefly.
She was kicking invisible ninjas or something. It was bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. But that was your takeaway. What would you give it a grade wise?
A C.
Okay. Cable.
The whole
You
show.
stayed awake for this too. Yeah, usually fall asleep too.
I might go B-. I think it was just a solid show. Like nothing above solid. Like but it wasn't awful. Like WWE's been putting on some pretty good pay-per-views. Their weekly product isn't very good, but they seem to throw together a decent card at the last minute.
What was your best match of the night?
Oh, maybe Bailey Bianca.
That was mine.
Or
I have to go with Cesaro Rollins.
That one was good. This is a gripe of mine that now that I talk wrestling with you guys, you'll probably find out. In Bubba, it might anger you.
That's okay.
I am not a fan of WWE style, in-ring style.
You're not. You're you're good.
Yeah, okay. Because we haven't had a chance to talk about this. I think it's watered down, and I hate that when they bring guys in, they try and reshape them to the WWE's work style.
I don't like it either. I don't like it.
And that's why immediately I can watch an AEW show before WWE because you're going to see exciting matches and they're not all going to feel the same. And I love Cesaro to death. Love that guy to death.
Oh, I do too.
And Rollins, I can't, I like him. Nothing wrong there. But I feel like every time I watch a Rollins match, I've seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't feel different. Like
I read
Cesaro. So with Cesaro, I feel that it brought out the best in him more so than we've seen Rollins in a long time.
But I read somewhere where Cesaro now is not going to get a push,
which is bullshit.
Yeah, that is bullshit.
No doubt.
But with WWE, they change their mind every 5 minutes, so you never know what's going to happen.
They have no idea.
Just like pushing Tyler Black, and next he's gone. That's a guy that we need in AEW for sure. I know they can't take them all, but that's a guy that needs to be there.
They fired him?
Yeah, Aleister Black. Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, I thought you said Tyler.
Oh no, Aleister Black. Sorry.
But they want to bring him back. Did you hear that?
No, just like Joe.
He was in the
NXT
Hell in a Cell pay-per-view weekend. He was in a rumor, or no, NXT in your house the weekend. There were rumors.
They don't want any of these guys, like we said before in the podcast. They don't want any of these guys going to there. None of them. Right. They don't want anybody going.
They want to bring him back to NXT like they did Joe.
Because they had the biggest profit ever in WWE history, and they got rid of everybody, and they got rid of corporate people in the office, and they're just and more people are going to go, and there's other people that are waiting on the sidelines that are going to get axed probably. Like Fandango is probably going to get cut.
As he should.
Not Fandango, but Tyler Breeze. When you said Tyler Breeze, Tyler Breeze is good at one.
I meant Aleister Black, not Tyler Black. But anyway, we're at time, guys. Cable, just real quick. You talking about style? I think my favorite style is actually NXT UK and the strong, or that style was just awesome.
Well,
if you love good wrestling,
I don't watch.
I know. I don't either, but that style was awesome. If you love
And
good
I
wrestling,
Before
love,
we get out of
that's
here,
it.
your boy Roderick Strong came back.
He's back.
yeah. What was your grade
Um,
for the Cell pay-per-view, Mav?
I give it a C as well.
Okay.
You know, I C plus maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything special. I think a lot of those matches, like Bailey and Bianca, that could have been not even in the cell.
True.
I thought it was a good use of the Cell, but
I thought it was a good, decent match. I
yeah,
just don't think.
but
I just don't even think. But
my
and then
final
they did
thought,
the whole swap with Roman Reigns and
yeah,
Rey Mysterio, and
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to
Hey,
do it on Father's
hey,
Day. Who knows?
Roman Reigns throwing Ray before we get out of here like a lawn dart. That was brutal.
yeah.
That reminded me
That
when he got
spot was
thrown,
crazy.
NWO style.
Yep.
And I was like, man, he ain't getting up because that had to hurt.
Yeah. And if you didn't think this before the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, that Bailey Bianca match just solidified that Bailey's been the MVP of the pandemic era WWE. Like
No,
she carried Bianca through that match, and she's been killing it with since they let her turn heel and
Yeah.
let her do her own thing.
she's
She's
money.
been awesome.
I mean, I don't know. There at first I didn't catch on to it, but I mean the work
No,
rate
yeah,
is good.
it wasn't I mean, I liked it, but it
Yeah,
wasn't. She didn't hit her stride for a while until she got
yeah. It
comfortable.
took a little bit. Yeah, it
Yeah,
took a
but
little bit. There
she's
was a
killing it now.
period that was really weird. But
Yeah.
anyway, gentlemen, Bubba, final thought.
My final thought is, hey, thanks for listening. We're doing this stuff on YouTube, but also listen to the Triple B Experience where we have segments all the time with the three of us. And you can hit like, share on Facebook and other social media, and just like and share and just get the views up. We're trying to do the best we can.
Yeah, Cable, your final thought.
Uh, whatever Bubba said, I agree with that. Do everything he said.
Oh,
What would Bubba do? And great to be on another show with you guys, shooting the shit with my buddies about stuff I like.
Awesome. So this is the Triple B Experience, unscripted, 3BE unscripted, straight to YouTube, no edits whatsoever. We're going to download this, upload it to YouTube. And yeah, here we are. We're going to try to do this more often, hopefully weekly. We'll be talking lots of good stuff, everything from Marvel to Star Wars. We're going to get into DC next week. Don't let me forget. More wrestling talk, of course, sports as well, all kinds of stuff, unscripted. So tune in, watch, and yeah, this is it. So thank
All
you
right.
guys.